Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm colouring in Magical Dawn by Hannah Carlson, and I'm colouring this page using masking fluid, some gold foil and glue, watercolour paints and Prismacolor pencils. So what I'm going to first do is get the masking fluid on, and I'm not covering everything. I'm just going to cover the bits where I want to put my watercolor background. So I'm going to zoom you in a bit closer. And we can get started. So I've got an old paintbrush here, and I've got my masking fluid, which I haven't used an awful lot. Just give it a quick shake, because if you look at the bottom, I think it needs a good shake. So, hi Noelle, how are you? Okay, I don't know. Alright, let's see. The last time I tried this, I was a little bit successful and a little bit not successful. Okay, so I'm just dipping it straight in, and I'm gonna go over this. And I'm doing this because I'm so fed up of painting over my images and trying to adjust the colors. So I have it, let me rather try use it, and hopefully this will work a little bit better. I used it initially in a Teresa Goodrich book, but I tore the paper quite a bit taking it off, which probably wasn't a good idea. So hopefully I'll have a bit better luck today. I really just want to protect the image. Oh, I'm glad you're hanging in there. Hi Kenny, how are you? All right, let's come up here. Yes, thank you. Not too bad. No complaints. A bit tricky going up here, and I find as it dries it kind of clumps up on the paintbrush, so let's see. But I have to go up here and kind of around here, because this whole bit here is going to receive watercolor paint, because I want to do watercolor paint on the background. Hi Carly, how are you? And hopefully I'm putting enough of this down that it's okay. It will be what it will be, and we'll make it work. I'm not too fussed with this page. It's not one of my favorite pages, so I'm going to kind of go with, let's just have fun and have a play, and what will be will be. Oh dear. excuse my guinea pigs, they're out with me, so they're happy. And what I'm also trying to do is make sure when I'm painting this on, I'm using confident strokes and I'm not going over and over and over the same spot. I am using a art masking fluid just to protect the picture. I've been wanting to try it again in this and on different paper, so I'm hoping this is going to work out a bit better for me than the last time I tried this. I mean, my application will get better with time. And then I'm going to cover this crown with gold foil. I had a request to please do another gold foil tutorial. So I figured it would be better to do it on a live stream because it guarantees that it will actually get done. And then next week I'll go back to the Rumpelstiltskin page and finish that up, and then after that I'm going to do a how many whips can I finish in 2 hours kind of live stream. Hi Gia, how are you? Alright, I want to create these as gemstones, so we'll just keep all of that here. I wanted a really beautiful bedazzled kind of bird crown thing. Okay, so that looks like it's the crown. Just go over there just to make sure. It kind of change. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of changes the paper and leaves like a yellowy color. I'm hoping that's okay. All right, and then I'm going to come along here. And I'm just doing the edges of the illustration. I need to do enough that it's not going to cause any of the watercolor paint to seep in. You can even do the stars. You can do these dots. You don't have to, you could just paint over them, but you can do them. Yeah, all good on our side. let's come here. Oh dear. Hi, Angela, how are you? I think it really depends on the illustration. I think, you know, this one's not overly finicky, I hope. But there are other illustrations where I'm just like, it's just too much effort to put down masking fluid. But I've learned I just take a long time, so it's okay. All right, so I've got a few more like dots here. Oh dear, it's not gonna work. The nice thing with covering the background, if I don't like it, I can just paint over it, color over it, doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal. Yeah, doing well, thank you. Glad you are well. I hope that the weather is cooling down for everyone, or not too hot. We're definitely starting to get more of an autumnal feel in the air, which is both a good thing and a sad thing, because I've been really enjoying sitting outside in the garden. We got a new umbrella for outside, and it's so nice to just sit in the sun. Then when you get too hot, move to the shade. All right, I think so. That's really all I want to do, is just on that edge there. All right, so now I'm going to take the skunky stuff off my paintbrush, and I'm going to swap paintbrushes. Okay, and I'm going to show you. So this is on Pinterest. I'm not going to copy the whole thing, but this is the inspiration for the page. So I've tried to make this sort of color, and I'm going to put it in the background, and I might splash in like bits of pink, or I don't know, we'll see. And then I want to try and create the crown with these sort of colors in the jewels, and I want these sort of colors on the feathers. So this is the inspiration, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've mixed my paints, and we're gonna go for it. I think I might get a little bit of Payne's Gray. And I'm just going to try and see if I put blobs of it in, how it's going to work. I'm going to try and work quickly. And just randomly blob bits here and there. Just create like a mottled effect. This is the part where I pretend I know what I'm doing, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just playing. Work quick, because it dries so quickly. So I'll do drops of stuff here and there. All right, I'm not looking at the comments right now, so I promise I'll get to them in a sec. I just want to kind of really do this quickly. I have no idea. I'm like, really want to do it quickly, so it just doesn't make any marks, and try get this so that it's smooth. Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh my goodness. All right, I think that might look pretty. Okay. Right, so that's done. So I'm going to let that dry, and what we can do is just over here. I'm not too worried if I get paint in here, because I'm going to cover that with gold foil. Okay, so let's see. I want to do his beak golden, so I might do his beak gold, and then we can see if I can go over that with pencil. Do I do blue here? We can do pink here. Okay, let's get our pencils while we wait for this to dry. Oh, thank you, Carly. I'm glad you like it. Oh, the guinea pigs are just having a run. They're out on the floor, running around and eating hay. I think they're just not happy to be out of their cage, to be really honest. Okay, so what I need is a grey-green lights, and I want a light aqua and a cobalt turquoise. I think that will work really nice. We can always add in maybe a blue indigo if we really need to, just for really deep shadows. And I'm just going to fill in a whole lot of these blue feathers. The thing with watercolor is it often dries a lot duller than what it looks like when it's wet, so I'm not sure if it's going to need another coat. I always doubt myself about whether it needs more. But then I don't know if I want the background too dark, because that will take away from the bird. So there is that to think about. Okay, so this is Prismacolor and I'm using PC992, and I'm gonna just come along under here. I just want to show that the crown is sitting on his head. Okay. I want blue up here to about, just trying to think, to about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly plot in where I want this, and then I can put aside the reference image. So I'm not going to do this too dark. I know that that all here has to be blue. I can do like a clay rose or a grey lavender into, oh, a grey lavender, actually, that would look nice. So I'll do grey lavender kind of here. And I'm using the flat of the pencil to just help me do this. And I'm going to make this bit here like a dark blue. So again, just locking in the color. And I'm going to need some pinks, so I'm going to get a pink, and I'll use a light pink and maybe a dahlia purple, the dark purple. Blue up there. I think I need to bring blue down here. Maybe a little bit like this. Kind of like here. And I want the dark indigo underneath here because his beak is resting kind of like that. Then I'm going to make this gold, and then I'll color inside here with some of those jeweled colors. So then here I'm going to do pink and blue. Very bedazzled bird. thank you. Yes, I will trust the process. I'm just going to do this a bit randomly. Put some purple in here. Alright, I'm going to keep leaving this to dry. It's not quite dry enough. And I'm going to get a bit of lilac. I don't actually know. I don't think too long. I wouldn't leave it till tomorrow, let's put it that way. I'm just making sure that the paper is dry, and then I'll peel it off. So yeah, I'm gonna zab up some of this, but I wouldn't leave it excessively long, I don't think. Masking fluid on it. And as far as I know, you can use an eraser or you can just use your finger and you can lift it. And it just heals quite nicely. This is the second time I've used it, so I'm by no means an expert. At least it's not tearing the paper. When I last used it, it tore the page terribly. I actually was convinced I had ruined it, but thankfully I hadn't. And I know you can also lift it, which is pretty cool. But when you lift it, I find that's when I land into trouble, because you can see here I've started tearing the paper, and that's because I was trying to lift it. I think you do have to be gentle. I think it needs to be dry. I don't think it will lift if it's not dry. But I do agree it probably shouldn't be left too long, because then it will bring up the paper fibers as you work with it to try and remove it. I mean, my application is not brilliant. And if you get it right, you can just kind of peel it like this, which I think is really satisfying. And then you get like these long, weird strings. I'm not too bothered by the paper. We can fix that. It's not a train smash. I'm gonna color over there anyway. Actually, this paper has held up much better. I only tore a little bit there. Hi Dawn, how are you? I hope you are well. So it's coming off okay. It's not really too bad. But you probably could use an eraser. It might be a bit better for the paper. Rub it, dust it. Just be careful. See, this paper is probably a bit too damp, and when I rub on it, I'm actually rubbing the wet fibers, which is not really great. So I'm trying not to go over anything that's wet. You just kind of push it back. Here, see, there's fibers of the paper because it's still wet, so that's just peeling off. Up here, if I zoom you in a bit more, you can see. So if you look here, there you go, it's lifted the paper, and also over here. because it's probably too wet. And then up here it's so over here you've also got some of the paper busy pulling. But it's fine, like I said, I'm not precious over this page, so if it doesn't turn out great, it's fine. I'm really trying to work on not being unnecessarily precious over coloring pages. The process of coloring is more important than the outcome. And if it doesn't work great, if it does, yay! It's not too bad. I have ripped holes before, so and I was able to fix it in the sense I got the coloring page didn't turn out too badly. You wouldn't notice it unless you looked really close, so it's not really a big deal. I don't know if cold press paper reacts differently to the masking fluid. You know, it's possible that it reacts better on certain papers and all of that. I haven't really tested it. Okay, so I think that's it. Well, there we go, tearing paper. Oh dear. So now for the gold foil. I'm going to make the whole crown gold. And I'm using a Nuvo Smooth Precision glue pen. You can get them on Amazon. I got mine a while ago. And what's nice about this is you just apply the glue with in like a pen format. So that's quite cool. I tend to still struggle with the getting it precise, but we'll give it a try. Okay, so I'm going to start up here, and you want to kind of squeeze it just a bit. I hope it works. Oh, there we go. And then you use the pen to kind of move it around. It really can flood, so just be gentle with it. And with this glue, you do have to wait for it to dry completely, because if it doesn't, your gold foil is not going to stick. As far as I know, you can color over gold foil. I haven't really tried that. again, I find this very much work that I need to concentrate on. You can have as much bedazzle as you like, or as little. It's not gonna be very great. It's very messy, and it doesn't always stick in all the right places, so yeah, you'll probably all hear me moan. And I'll most likely go, oh, it's too much gold, I've messed it up, but it's fine. It's good fun, and it will add a real big sparkle, and somehow it will go through the ugly stage and come out looking pretty good. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is I just want to glue the pages shut. So as long as I don't do that, it will be a success. We're going up here now. The glue does dry as you apply, but you need it to dry. And you can't, I'm not going to put gold foil on top of this while it's wet. It really, I promise you, it won't work. It has to be dry. Okay, I'm going to go over these little circle thingies because that's just going to drive me nuts. Over here. Probably there. So I'm going to have to remember how I do this. And I want all of this gold. So just pulling it along like this. And then just pull that wet glue like that. And then along here. Pulling it down. So I find so far when I do gold, I don't really get much of a 3D look. It looks quite flat. And I think that's just because I haven't learned all the nuances with gold foil or any foil. And yeah. So it will be what it will be. I can show you how to apply it. Anything fancier, I quit my day job. I don't know. So we've got them on here. And I'm trying just to stay in the lines, because if I go out the lines, it will look a bit odd. Okay. Now I come down here. think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use diamond drills, but I'll do that later at the end of the page, and I will stick on diamond drills to kind of replace these little circle dot thingies she's got going on here. Oi! No, you're eating my file. Don't do that. Going for the arch lever file. Such a funny guinea pig. And I can't put it up because my bookcases are full of books. Coming along down here. All right, I think that's it. Oh, okay, I wanted to do down here. Oh, don't go up so much. My goodness. Kind of make these part of, so you're bringing a bit of balance to the gold bits and bobs. And then I want this line here gold. So I'm really gonna try and bedazzle him, make him all like sparkly. I can do this with gold down here. Okay, and then this line here, and maybe this circle here. And this leaf here. So we're just going to find places to just put gold all over him. I am really going to regret this. I always have an element of regret when I use a lot of gold foil because it gets so shiny and I just don't know how to process it. But if you like a lot of gold, this might work for you, so. It will look pretty. Okay, I think that's all the gold we need because we've got gold on the top. We're bringing gold down here. This is a large pool of glue. Okay, and now we let it dry. You're eating popcorn. It can take a while to dry. Like here it's already sticky, which is great, but I need everything to dry before I put the gold foil on, otherwise it's going to be a hot mess. But it shouldn't take too long. Hopefully within 20 minutes. But we can work on his eyes, and I'll try work around it. You really just want to get it that it's got a sticky feel to it. If it's sticky, you can go for it. I think I've done it before where I've put the glue on and I've left it for a good few hours, come back and there's been bits where it's still wet, and I've left it for a few more hours and it actually has been okay. So this glue dries sticky. But again, this is my 3rd or 4th time using it, so I'm not going to claim to be an expert. Okay, so these are the irises. Alright, let's use some indigo blue. And then I want a little bit of Sunburst yellow just in here. Some places are still wet. Alright, so I'm just trying to work on these eyes. Right, so I need to practice making gloss eyes. I've never colored gloss eyes in before. Right, so we're getting a nice eye going here. Waiting for glue to dry. Okay. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Generally, what I'm supposed to do is do both eyes at the exact same time, and then you get like a cohesion going on. But anyway, never mind. Okay, I want some more. I love coloring eyes. I think they're just so pretty. I love doing eyes because when you put eyes on, it just brings the picture to life, and I love doing that. Suddenly it's looking at you. There we go. So now we have a bird looking at us. Like, hi. I'm right over here. Okay. So I'm going to use an artichoke now, and I'm going to work on like a golden orangey yellow beak of sorts. Now, under the nostril, it's going to have a shadow. Okay, that's nice and sticky. There, that's what I like, that sticky feel there. But there it's still a bit damp, that's better. Alright, now I'm going to use Jasmine and just lay this in here. Now if you want your gold to look orangey, you just add orange. So I'm going to bring in this Sunburst yellow and kind of layer it in here. going to use some chocolate. Oh, I love that you're talking about neo colors. I love neos. Do you predominantly use neos activated, or do you use them sometimes like oil pastels? What is your favorite way? Activate, fair enough. I have decided that I don't like coloring pencils on top of Neocolor 2s. I find them very slippy, so I don't like it. Activated, cool. Thanks, Dawn. Okay, so I'm gonna go inside the nostril and I'm gonna make this dark. Like that, and then I'm gonna take black. Oi! Don't eat the plastic! I don't get it. They've got hay and then they go and eat the plastic or the files. Go in here. Oh, sorry. I don't like coloring pencils on top of Neocolor 2s, even if they are activated. It's really not fun. I find my pencils, whether they're Prismas or Polys, they slide, and it's like trying to color granite. I just really don't like it. So if I'm going to use Neo 2s, I will either use them just on their own as a background, or I'll color something or create something only using Neocolor 2s. I do like using them as oil, like a type of oil pastel. I think they really work well. Oh, thank you. Actually, I'm going to put it somewhere here, just a touch of this. trying to show it like reflecting some of these colors. So we could maybe put a bit of this in here. Like that. I want the Sunburst yellow. Now I want to try and leave like a highlight above the nostril. Yeah, it is a texture thing. I just also feel that the pencils don't really sit on, and I can't tell if they're actually coloring on top. So it does feel a bit odd. There we go, got a nice little beak, a nice little eyes. All right, this is feeling quite good. So I'm gonna probably start laying down gold foil now. I'm gonna avoid this space here because it's quite gluey. All right, so this is just cheap gold foil I bought on Amazon. And I'm going to make a proverbial mess. Okay. So. All right. I don't have those beautiful flat sheets of gold paper. I have like crumpled offcuts. So it does make it a little, it makes it a little bit messy. I promise you, you do this, you make a big mess on your desk. And sometimes I use the really small offcuts just to fill in gaps. No, that didn't work. Come back. Go there. There we go. So yeah, I don't know if this is the best way to put gold foil. It's just what I've learned. I'm open to someone telling me how I should do it better. If you know how to do it better, let me know. You probably could. I'm not very good with finicky things or very fine things. I've always struggled with fine work. So my dad has asked me before, you know, why don't I paint 3D sculptured models like Warhammer and that sort of thing, and the reason is painting with even very fine paintbrushes, it can stress my hands out. So I don't feel very good with very fine detailed like work with my hands. So even if I paint a coloring page with a fine paintbrush and I'm working on very small details, it can sometimes be stressful because my hands feel, I feel anxious in my hands, if that makes sense. But yeah, you probably could just scrunch it up if you want to give that a go. Oh dear. I'm just going to lay that kind of flat like that. Okay, so here I've got a whole wad of big pieces, which I just placed down on glue. Oh my goodness, like seriously girl, place it down somewhere else. Ah. Okay, nope, come here. Go like that. I try like find the bigger pieces that would kind of fit. So here it hasn't got glue, which is why it's not sticking. Which is a bit irritating, but anyway, there's bits of glue there. So what I'll do is I'll fix this section here off camera so you guys don't have to wait for the glue to dry. You see it breaks. Ah! Finicky, finicky, finicky. So yeah, put your glue down, let it dry till it's sticky. Get your foil however you want to do it, whatever works best for you. Stick it down. Probably have your hands washed so that you've got no oils or anything sticking to them. you're probably good to go. Okay, check that that's sticky. Yay! Okay, put down, put down. It sticks everywhere. Ah, I'm not good with this. Because this starts to feel like a mess, and I'm not good with mess. Like, some people are really good at coping with mess. I do get slightly irritated and stressed with mess. Okay, here we go. Get more sheets. Nice big bits. Stick it down. I prefer big pieces like this because I can just kind of put it everywhere and it covers a whole section. But this is, I will warn you, it becomes like glitter and just goes everywhere. So just be warned, you're probably going to vacuum the next day or later on any bits that get on the floor. You can peel bits that don't stick and then put it places where it does stick. Pick up some offcuts somewhere and just plonk it down. Okay. Where does that sit? Yes, that sits. Okay. So it's just here that I missed. And then there's still drying. Okay, so I can show you at the bottom here. I don't have the right brush though. I'm supposed to use a slightly harder brush. Sleep well, Dawn. Hope you have a good week. Okay, so you take your brush and you want to just try and scrape the edges off. Just lift it, and then this is the part where I find I'm not very good. It is better if you've got a slightly firmer brush, but you can get tools that help remove any unwanted bits. I'm just going to get the bulk off first, and then I will try and fine-tune it. I can't get through there. Okay, hang on. I gotta pick this up. So you can also pick up the excess, put it back in your tub, container, or whatever it is you use. Or you could just throw it away. I mean, alright, so you can see here the glue didn't work, so I'll have to take some more glue later and fix that up. Okay, so now if I come to the crown, it's pretty much going to be the same thing. And this is where I mentioned it's not perfect. I think it is a skill to be able to put gold foil down really, really well. And my skill is still very, very much got room for improvement. But it's fun and we're playing, and that's all that really matters. You know, you don't learn unless you try, so. I remember a good poem, I think it was by Christina Rossetti. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And I think that that is a great way to do art. You know, you try, if it doesn't work out, try again, just keep trying, and eventually you get it. Oh dear. Just wipe glue all over the place. Oh boy. Alright, I'm just going to throw that away. Yuck. Ugh. You're doing well, Carly. Right. I'll probably try and use this. Yes, it's very shiny and very messy. Oh my goodness. And then you blow your mouth, and it just goes everywhere. So in here we're just going to color these like jewels. You can use the back of a paintbrush. Seems to kind of work okay. Just to scratch out any bits that you don't want. Hi, Nikki. Oh, give it a try. You might like it. Just be warned, it creates a big mess. Alright, so it's not brilliant. I'm not sure how I'm gonna fix this. As you can see, I really struggle when things are messy, so yeah, I'm not sure. I might have to use a gel pen, like a gold gel pen, and just try and come in some places and just fix it up a bit. Because you don't want something too hard that it scratches the glue and scratches things away. But you also want it to kind of be how you want it. Okay, I'm going to put some on this section here. Oh, lovely. I'm glad you're enjoying World of Flowers. I promise you it sticks everywhere. Okay. So if it's not fully dry, it actually doesn't stick. It sticks, but not very well, and you can easily pick it up with your brush and create like gaps there. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off the washi tape around the edges, because then I can get to all the bits that still need to be colored. And I'm not going to go back over the background. I think I'm going to leave it like this because I don't want the background to be too dominant. I think it's quite gentle, so hopefully I'm making the right decision. And then I'll go back to some pencil work. Thanks, Carly. I'm sure it will be fine. Okay, I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to keep the washi tape. So I'm going to just stick it here on the table. I find if I leave washi tape on too long, sometimes when I take it off, it can pull at the fibers of the paper. Oh, thank you, Kenny. I like framing it with washi tape. It creates, here it's sticking. Ah, don't stick. All right, there we go. It's fine. I wanted to practice creating a frame where some of the picture actually isn't inside the frame. All right, so I think I'm just going to color in. Like I'll spend the next few minutes just coloring, and I'm covered in gold foil. Everywhere is covered with gold foil, so let's just oh, it does. I mean, Look, it just goes everywhere. Oh my goodness. I've got, yeah, it's on my pants. It goes everywhere. I think glitter is worse, but gold foil is second. Okay. I could pretend I'm a fairy with gold fingers. Yeah, sprinkle some in your hair, yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to use Prismacolor pencils to do the pencil work. So I'm going to use a Dahlia purple for my deep highlights, not highlights, deep shadows. Gosh, seriously, I can't even talk properly. And I've put away the reference photo I was using because I don't want to rely too heavily on that. It was color inspiration. The bird is staring into your eyes. It looks lovely without the washi tape. I agree, it just starts to bring everything together. Trying to put you under a spell. Or it's going, what secrets or deep dark things can you tell me? Although with these colours I don't know if I would keep a straight face. Or maybe it wants to sing you a song or tell you a poem. Where am I going with this? Sometimes I like to ignore all the doodly bits inside because I find it a bit overwhelming. So I'm going to try and have these feathers pink, but also pinky whites. So I need to make sure I don't put too much dark pink. I sometimes wonder if Hannah Carlson takes a lot of inspiration from, you know, jeweled birds, you know, photos of jeweled birds and that sort of thing. I found a few reference photos on Pinterest with jeweled birds, and it did remind me a lot of Hannah Carlson's birds. And they're very pretty. It's gonna be a really vibrant bird. But I feel like a really happy bird. I don't know. Hopefully happy. Oh, fabulous. Her Halloween book's been dispatched. That's really cool and great timing for Halloween. I was wondering what other books she's gonna do that have a holiday theme to it, because she's done the Christmas, she's done Halloween. Be interesting to see if she carries on or if she just stops at that. Oh, you've just received the Christmas book. That's so cool. Okay, I just need to use a white pencil. I saw Spirit Animals is out of print. I didn't like Atlantis too much. Yeah, that one didn't grab me. I think it had too many fish in it. So what I'm going to do is at the end, I will take a white Posca pen or something like that, and I'm going to go over all these white lines, and I'm thinking inside these little circles I'm going to put diamond drills. And then here, we can go in here. Randomly start pulling out colors. And then I'm going to use some black. I suppose these style of feathers are quite easy to color. I don't think they take an awful lot of anything really. Oh, that sounds like a great plan. Kirby's Nutcracker for Christmas and Godjewel. I was actually thinking I might try and do the Snow Queen in Kirby's Dark Fairy Tales over winter. Got a bit of a gentle plan kind of for that page, so it might be quite a lot of fun to do that one. And finish a whole lot of Christmas whips. actually wrong color. I need the artichoke more than a jasmine, so I'm using a bit of artichoke. This will be a bird like no other. It's the kind of bird that will put peacocks to shame. We will name him Big Bird. You will be my Big Bird. I will call you Big Bird. Alright, I'm just going to finish up in here and then we will call it a night. I do find pencils also helpful to tidy up around the gold foil, so you'll probably see me from time to time use my pencil to clean things up. You could probably use a lot of gold foil in Christmas pages, you know, with baubles and that sort of thing. It probably would look quite good. yeah, you can use a pencil and just go along the edges and try and tidy it up. Just be very gentle because you can rip inside as well, so you do want to be careful. Yeah, I would probably try tidy it up with a pencil. Not too hard, maybe just a medium to light pressure. You want the pencil there to do the work for you without scraping all the gold foil off. Yeah, the foil does get everywhere if you use it. That's probably my main reason for not using it too often. It just is like using glitter. Just loose glitter and glue. I mean, it's not bad. It could be worse. Yeah. I'll have to see how I can just sort of weave it into some of the other crown decorations. I think that's got to come off. I've run out of fixative. I need to buy more. However, I would personally try and remember to put fixative on all my pages. I find it does help stop the transfer of anything onto the other page. So yeah, I would try and work on getting into the habit of spraying fixative on all my pages. But yes, if I didn't run out of fixative, I would definitely put some on. Alright, I'm going to zoom out so you can see the gold foil. My process is pretty much the same so far because I haven't really learned a better way of using the gold foil. So you can use the same process for just about anything really. Alright, so I'll zoom you out. And there you have it. That's what it looks like. So I'll try do the same thing on the other side, and I find gently plotting in the basic ideas of my colors helps me a lot, and then just sort of improvise as we go. Thank you, everyone. I really have enjoyed this with you. I hope that this has been fun to watch, and I look forward to next week, Monday. I'll probably go back to the Rumpelstiltskin page just to finish it up, and then we can return here and carry on with the bird. There's also some whips I need to finish up, so we'll have some fun the next few lives. Have a great week ahead of you, and I hope you stay well and happy coloring. Thanks, everyone. Bye.